But if you take a look at Pinot Noir production around the world, these are the big dogs in terms of number of acres of Pinot Noir grapes planted. France, followed by the United States, followed by Germany, followed by Moldova. If you're not familiar with Moldova, it's between Romania and the Ukraine. And if you travel to some former Eastern Bloc countries or some communist countries, you can enjoy a Moldavian Pinot Noir. Italy makes a lot of Pinot Noir up in the northeast part of the country. They're generally light, easy drinking, not particularly complex, but they're really good food wines. Then New Zealand, which we're having tonight. Australia is close behind. Switzerland, Chile, and Australia also make a lot of Pinot Noir. If you want to know different styles, and again, when we compare, when we say more or less or anything, we're always comparing it to Burgundy. Burgundy, and there's always exceptions to this, but as a general rule, Burgundies are medium body, they're less fruity, more earthy, and they have higher acidity. California, you're going to be fuller bodied, more fruit, less acidity, more alcohol. Oregon sort of halfway between California and Burgundy, and a lot of Oregon Pinot Noirs have a little bit of a cola flavor. Germany, they're richer, complex, they're really savory, herbal. Moldova, if you want to travel to the Eastern Bloc country, they're medium body, fruity, high acidity. Italy, medium body, fruity, high acidity. New Zealand, they're a little fuller bodied than Burgundy, not quite as full body as California, and they generally have a little higher alcohol than Burgundy. Australia is fairly similar. Switzerland, medium body, fruity, high acidity. Chile, they're really rounder wines. They're elegant and really fresh and easy drinking. And in Argentina, it's similar, but most Pinot Noirs never see new oak barrels. And in Argentina, you'll get a little bit of new oak. Most Pinot Noirs are aged in either stainless steel or neutral oak, but you'll get a little bit of oak in Argentina if you try some of their Pinot Noirs.
So Gasper, for the holidays, we tried the Costco Advent calendar, and there were two.
What? I'm sorry.
The Costco Advent calendar, the wine Advent calendar.
Oh, the Advent calendar, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in the Costco one, there were two Pinots from Moldova.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there were?
Both of them surprisingly really good. My wife and I both enjoyed them, and had never known Moldova to make wine, but they were good.
Yeah, well, Laura and I went a little over in the before time when you could still travel and go places. It's becoming a distant memory. But we went to Slovenia and Croatia and tasted wine, and my God, that stuff was good. If you can find Eastern Bloc wines, you're generally going to find that their price quality ratio is a lot higher than other places because of the economy and because they're trying to make a name for themselves. Some other names for Pinot Noir in Germany, it's called Spätburgunder. Italy, it's Pinot Nero. Switzerland, it's Blauer Burgunder. Austria, it's Blauer Burgunder. And in Slovenia, it's Modri Burgundy. So if you ever see those are just different names for Pinot Noir. Some fun facts about Pinot: it's hard to grow. That's why it's really hard to get a good and expensive ones. I'm not even sure Two Buck Chuck makes a Two Buck Chuck Pinot Noir, but if you get a $4 or $5 Pinot Noir, it's not going to be good. They tend to mutate in the field. They're more susceptible than other grapes to mold, viruses, and fungus. They're early budding, so because they like colder areas, if you have a spring frost, it could really destroy the crop. They have a light skin, which makes it more susceptible to sun damage. They like cold weather. After Sideways, remember we talked about how many more acres of Pinot Noir started to get planted? There's a lot of Pinot Noir that started to be grown in really warm areas. So a lot of people started making some really bad Pinot Noir to keep up with market demand. It's really the most food friendly of all wines. We're gonna do some food pairing ideas later, but really, Pinot Noir goes with just about everything. In the before time when we used to go to parties and bring wine to people's houses and things, if you can remember that far back, if people didn't know what they were having, and I was always one of the wines I always suggested was a Pinot Noir because it doesn't overpower seafood. It goes really well with salmon. And unless you're going for ribs that are really slathered in barbecue sauce, and it's really not that bad with that, it'll probably match most foods. So it's very food friendly. And if you've ever heard of a wine called Pinotage from South Africa, it's a cross between Pinot Noir and a French grape called Cinsault. And they created an entirely different grape. They grow a lot of Pinot Noir in South Africa, but probably their national grape is a Pinotage, which is a cross between Pinot Noir and Cinsault. Some Pinot and foods, things I like to pair Pinot with. Like I said earlier, it's a very food-friendly wine. It goes with a wide variety of foods. I like it with pork and salmon. It's usually, if I make either one of those, I usually pull out a Pinot. It's a great Thanksgiving wine because it won't overwhelm the turkey. It goes really well with stuffing and all the other accoutrements. It goes really well with anything with a mushroom sauce. And if you want to have some Pinot and cheese, it goes great with brie, Camembert, Gruyere, and goat cheese and that sort of thing. Although I could probably fill up 3 screens with food choices with Pinot Noir.